With no silver bullet to knock out the coronavirus, President Trump is suggesting medical experts look into exposing the human body to light and heat as a possible treatment.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way.
President Trump even posing the question to Dr. Deborah Birx on his coronavirus task force.
Deborah, have you ever heard of that, the heat and the light relative to certain viruses, yes, but relative to this virus?
Not as a treatment. I mean, certainly fever is a good thing. When you have a fever, it helps your body respond. But not as I've not seen.
It came after Bill Bryan, who leads Homeland Security's Science and Technology Division, said his researchers found the virus does not survive in warmer and more humid conditions.
The virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight.
But the virus has thrived in areas with more humid climates like New Orleans and South Florida, and overseas in places like Singapore and Brazil. Bryant later added that heat alone would not kill the virus, and people should continue to follow social distancing guidelines.
It would be irresponsible for us to say that we feel that the summer is just going to totally kill the virus and that if it's a free-for-all and that people ignore those guidelines. That is not the case.
President Trump also pondering the possibility of injecting someone with a disinfectant.
Then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning that you're going to have to use medical doctors with? But it sounds interesting to me.
This morning, medical experts are nearly unanimous in saying that trying unproven treatments can prove to be very dangerous, especially ingesting or injecting disinfectants. In fact, the maker of Lysol has issued a warning this morning concerned that people may try it. The maker of Lysol is saying we must be clear that under no circumstances should our disinfectant products be administered into the human body through injection, ingestion, or any other route. As with all products, our disinfectant and hygiene products should only be used as intended and in line with usage guidelines. The concern, Savannah, is that people may try this at home.